Dear students, good morning. Today in this video class we are going to see about already we have seen about early resistance here in Tamil Nadu. Here in today's class we are going to see freedom struggle in Tamil Nadu. So already in the 6th lesson of history we have read about the early resistance, that is Palayakarar war we have seen, So in Tamil Nadu we started the struggle for freedom earlier in the late 17th and early 18th century itself. So even after the Palayakarars, all the Palayakarars were suppressed brutally by the English force. Still in the year 1806, Vellore revolt. You remember, I think you all remember about Vellore revolt and the Palayakarar resist in the lesson 6 we read. So even after the Palayakarars suppression, the Vellore revolt we had in Tamil Nadu. So thus here in Tamil Nadu we fought for our freedom, not only for our freedom, social injustice that prevailed in India, mainly caste system, was at its peak. So along with the freedom struggle for freedom, important personalities fought for the social injustice that prevailed in Tamil Nadu. Let us see one by one. Before that, you should know about MNA, Madras Native Association. See, during the reign of during the British rule, the whole India was divided into three big provinces: Calcutta province, Bombay province and Madras province. So please don't think that Madras refers only the Chennai, the present Chennai in Tamil Nadu. It doesn't, you have to take meaning that actually Madras presidency means, Tamil Nadu is a part of Madras presidency. That means Karnataka, most of the parts of Andhra Pradesh, even some part of Odisha were in the Madras presidency. Please try to understand that. So whole of India was divided into three, as I told you before: Madras provinces, Calcutta provinces and Bombay provinces. So in this lesson we are going to see about Tamil Nadu and also the Madras province, the people, the socialist, the freedom fighters from the Madras presidency. So first let's take about Madras Native Association, MNA. It was started by Gasalu Lakshmi Narayan in the year 1852. It was started in the year 1852 by Gasalu Lakshmi Narayan. So here it was started by, as I told you, not only by Gasalu Lakshmi Narayana, along with Gasalu Srinivasanar and their associates. It was formed in the year 1852. It consisted primarily of merchants. Merchants were in MNA. Merchants, the traders who were in Madras presidency were the main part of MNA. Is it understood? So the main aim was to promote the interest of its members and their focus was on reduction in taxation. So it not only fought for their organizations, the members' aim was focused on the people. The welfare of the people was the main objective of MNA. Is it understood? So it also protested against the support of the government to Christian missionary activities. The Christian missionary activities we had in Tamil Nadu, it was protested by it, and also over taxation levied on people. One of the main objective was to fight against the heavy tax laid on the people. Is it understood? The next one, It drew the attention of the government to the condition and needs of the people. One of the important contribution of the MNA was its agitation against torture of the peasants by revenue officials. So the peasants, the farmers were tortured by the revenue officers to pay heavy tax, as I told you before. So it main important contribution to Tamil Nadu, particularly not only to Tamil Nadu, as I told you before. Madras presidency was, it fought for the for the farmers who used to pay heavy tax, and they were tortured to pay heavy tax. So because of its contribution, because of its protest, the torture commission was brought. Torture commission was brought. Under that, the farmers were protected, okay, were saved. So MNA's main work function was that it fought for the cause of farmers. Next, let's see about beginnings of the nationalist press, the Hindu and Swadesi Mitran. So the appointment of T. Muthuswamy as the Indian judge. T. Muthuswamy. He was appointed as a Indian judge, but it was protested by many journals, many newspapers, and it was found out those journals and newspapers were run by the British, run by the English people. Okay, so in order to spread the news, in order to inform the people about the condition, about the thought of the Tamilians, thought of the Indian, few journals and newspapers were started. So one among was the Hindu newspaper. Okay, is it understood? So following that, many newspapers were started, and Hindu was the first one started in the year 1878. Hindu newspaper was started in the year 1878. So it soon became the vehicle of nationalist propaganda, and G. Subramaniam also started a Tamil nationalist periodical, Swadesamitran. The periodical called Swadesamitran was started here in Tamil Nadu by Subramaniam in the year 1891, which became, it was started as a periodical, okay, weekly or monthly, but after in the year 1899 it had become newspaper, daily newspaper. Is it understood? The founding of the Hindu and Swadesi Mitran provided encouragement to the starting of other native newspapers. So Swadesi Mitran, first Hindu newspaper, it stirred the interest of others, and they also started publishing so many newspapers like Patriot, Indian Patriot, South Indian Mail, Madras Standard, Desabhimani, Vijaya, Suryodayam and India. These were the newspapers that were started indigenously, that were started by the native people of India after the publish of Hindu and Swadesi Mitran. Okay. So next, Madras Mahajana Sabha. This is Madras, MMS. MMS, Madras Mahajana Sabha. So Madras Mahajana Sabha was the earliest organization in South India with a clear objective, with clear nationalist objectives. On 16th May 1884, MMM was started by Veera Raghavachari. It was started by Veera Raghavachari, Ananda Charlu, Rangaya and few others. Okay, so P. Rangaya became its first president. Then P. Ananda Charlu was its secretary, and the members met periodically, debated public issues and closed meetings, conducted hall meetings and communicated their views to the government. So thus, after the debates and their hall meetings, they communicated their petitions to the government. This was the actions of this MMS, Madras Mahajana Sabhas. Okay, so it demands included conduct of simultaneous civil service examination in England and India. So civil service exam were conducted, okay, in different time in India and here in India and in London. So it demanded the British government to conduct the examination at the same time, simultaneously means same time, both there in London, also here in India. Okay, so reduction of taxes and reduction of civil and military expenditure. So reduction of taxes the people had to pay heavy amount on tax, so it fought for reduction of taxation, and also it fought for the British government used to spend too much of money on military services, okay, because we all know about it spent too much of money on war, it raged war in so many places, okay, it not only here in India, in other places, in the early 20th century, first two world wars we have seen, okay. So the British government here, British India government spent lot of money on army expenditure. So it fought for the reduction of that too. So next, moderate phase. So MMS, we have to see this too. MMS, most of the objectives and most of the actions later was followed by the Congress when it was started in the year, after it was started in the year 1885, most of the objectives and the actions, the functions were followed by the Congress, MMS objectives. Is it understood? So now let's see about moderate phase. Moderate phase, provincial associations such as the Madras Mahajana Sabha led to the formation of an all India organization. The Indian National Congress leaders from different parts of India attended several meetings before the formation of the Congress. So before the Congress was formed in the year 1885, so many meetings were held by the Congress leaders in so many places, not only in North India. It came to many times, it had come to Tamil Nadu and in Madras Providency to had its meeting. So one such meeting was held in December 1884 in Theosophical Society at Adayar in Chennai. Okay, so it was attended by Dadabhai Nauroji, K.T. Talent, Surendranath Banerjee and other prominent leaders of Congress in that time, apart from G. Subramaniam, Rangayya and Anandacharlu from Madras. So many have participated in that meeting that was held in the year 1884 at Adayar. So the first session of the Indian National Congress was held in 1885 at Bombay. So after the formation of Congress in the year 1885, the first session of Congress was held in Bombay. So out of total 72 delegates here means the members. Okay. So out of 72 members, 22 members were from Madras Providency. So presidency. So the second session of the Indian National Congress was held in Calcutta in 1886, 1 year after. So with Dadabhai Nauroji in the chair, he was the president of that particular session held in Calcutta in the year 1886. The third session was held at Mackie's Garden. Mackie's Garden, it is the present day 1000 light area of Madras was known as Chennai. 1000 lights area of Chennai was known as Mackie's Garden in those days. So the third session was held here in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. It was held in the year 1887 with Badruddin Dayarji. Badruddin Dayarji was its president, and out of the 607 all India delegates, the members from all India, so totally there were 607 delegates members. So out of the 607, 362 were from Madras Presidency. So nearly half of the members from Madras Presidency itself. So next see about Swadeshi movement. So already in the previous history classes I have told you many things regarding these. Already we have seen all this actually. So particularly we are seeing the incidents that took place in Tamil Nadu for freedom and other social movements here in Tamil Nadu. So Swadeshi, you all know the meaning of the word Swadeshi. So Swadeshi movement, the partition of Bengal in the year 1905. So it is an example for the divide and rule policy of British here in India. They followed divide and rule policy here in India. So it divided Bengal into two. The western side of Bengal west side was mostly resided by the Hindus, and the east side of Bengal were Muslims. So in the year 1905, Bengal was divided into two. Many protests were raised against the partition of Bengal in the year 1905. So that was the main reason for the movement started Swadeshi in India, and its reflection we had here in Tamil Nadu. Let's see. In various parts of India, especially Bengal, Punjab and Maharashtra, popular leaders emerged after this Swadeshi movement. They implemented the program of the Calcutta Congress, which called upon the nation to promote Swadeshi enterprise. The products that we produce here in India should be used by the Indians. Okay, they should boycott the products that are brought from other countries. That is the main objective of Swadeshi movement. Boycott foreign goods and promote national education. So next let's see about response in Tamil Nadu. As I told you before, Swadeshi movement. V.O. Chidambaranar, Vavusi Chidambaranar in Tamil we call him. Okay, and V. Chakrayar, Subramanya Bharadiyar, we all know about Bharadiyar, and Surendranath Arya were some of the prominent leaders in Tamil Nadu. So public meetings attended by thousands of people were organized in various parts of Tamil Nadu. Tamil was used on the public platform. So in order to reach the people, they used Tamil first time. Okay. So Subramanya Bharati's patriotic songs, we all well aware of, we all know about Bharatiya songs. You know, patriotic songs, particularly freedom songs. It inspired a large number of people here in Tamil Nadu, and many journals were started to propagate Swadeshi ideals. Swadeshi Mitran and India were prominent journals already we have seen. The extremist leader, who are extremists? The extremist means those who fought for freedom. Okay, even they went to adapt extreme, beyond the limit, violent, even they took violent as a form of to get freedom. So those were called as extremists. Okay, moderates, those who do not want to indulge in violence. They gave petitions to the English government, okay, British government, and they wanted to get freedom in a non-violent way. So this is the two meaning for, the different meaning for extremist and moderate. Okay, so here the students, the extremist leader Bipin Chandra Pal, who was the leader for extremist, Bipin Chandra Pal, toured Madras and delivered lectures which inspired the youth. Students and youth participated widely in the Swadeshi movement. So large number of students participated in Swadeshi movement after Bipin Chandra Pal had toured to Madras provinces. Okay, next let's see about Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company started here in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so one of the most enterprising acts in pursuance of Swadeshi was the launching of the Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company. So Steam Navigation Company was started by V.O. Chidambaranar in Thoothukudi, at Thoothukudi. Vavu Chidambaranar, as I told you already, he purchased two ships. One was called Galia, okay, the other one was Lavo. He purchased two ships, one Galio, the other one Lavo, and he started the steam navigation company here in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so next let's see about Tirunelveli uprising, the protest that took place in Tirunelveli of Tamil Nadu. VOC joined with Subramanya Siva in organizing the mill workers in Thoothukudi and Tirunelveli. So In 1908, he led a strike in the European-owned coral mills. Okay, so it coincided with the release of Bipin Chandra Pal. So they celebrated the release of Bipin Chandra. Bipin Chandra Pal was arrested and he was released. So on the day of release of Bipin Chandra Pal, V.O. Chidambaranar and Subramanya Siva celebrated, okay, the release of Bipin Chandra Pal. V.O.C. and Subramanya Siva, who organized a public meeting, okay, were arrested. The two leaders were charged with sedition and sentenced to rigorous imprisonment. They were under jail and they were tortured. They were given severe punishment. Initially, VOC was given a draconian sentence. What is the draconian sentence? Draconian sentence means even for a small, mistake, a person will be sentenced, will be tortured, will be given severe punishment. Draconia. It was introduced by Draconia, so it was known as draconian punishment. VOC was initially given draconian punishment. He was given sentence of 2 life imprisonment. Okay, Ayul Kaidi. So that was the severe punishment given to him. The news of the arrest of sparked riots in Tirunelveli. So the arrest of these 2 important persons, okay, created a great protest here in Tirunelveli district. So leading to the burning down of the police station, people involved in burning of police station, court building and a municipal office, okay, and it led to the death of 4 people in police firing. VOC was treated harshly in the prison and was made to pull the heavy oil press. So in those days, the prisoners were given this kind of torture inside the jail. So pulling the oil press, it is really, he was a very rich person, but in spite of that, he underwent all this punishment, underwent all physical torture inside the jail, VOC. So to avoid imprisonment, Subramanya Bharati moved to Pondicherry. He went to Pondicherry, which was under French rule. So there we all know about the colonization of French, Portuguese. Pondicherry was under the control of French, so France. So Subramanya Bharatiyar went to Pondicherry so that the English could not arrest Subramanya Bharati. Following him, many went to Pondicherry. People, persons like Aravindo Ghosh and V.V. Subramanian also went behind Bharatiyar to Pondicherry. So revolutionary activities in Tamil Nadu. So what are the other revolutionary activities took place in Tamil Nadu? Let's see. Pondicherry provided a safe place for the revolutionaries during that place. As I told you before, it was under the control of France. So many took a safe under the French colonization there in Pondicherry. So Tamil Nadu were introduced and trained in revolutionary activities at India House in London and in Paris. MPT Acharya, V.V. Subramaniar and T.S.S. Rajan were prominent among them. Revolutionary literature was distributed by the Madras through Pondicherry. So many revolutionary journals were distributed to the Tamil peoples through Pondicherry. Okay, is it understood? From London to Pondicherry, Pondicherry to here in Tamil Nadu. So radical papers such as India, Vijay and Suryodhana came out of Pondicherry. So all these important journals came from Pondicherry too. It was distributed because here in Tamil Nadu it was these people were suppressed by the British. So these journals were produced there published there in Pondicherry and was circulated among the Tamilians here. Okay, is it understood? Next, let's see about Ash murder. In 1904, Neelaganda Brahmachari and others started Bharata Mata Society. The society called Bharata Mata Society was started by Neelagandacharya. Okay, a secret society. It was a secret society. The objective of the Bharata Mata Society was to kill British officials. Okay, as I told you before, it was a secret society. What was their plan? They planned to kill the English officials so that they thought that they could create a fear in among the minds of the English officials, the British officials here in Tamil Nadu. So thus they wanted to kindle patriotic fervor among the people. Vanjinathan was one among that. Vanjinathan belonged to Bharata Mata Society. He was from Sengotai. He influenced by this organization. On 17th June 1911, he shot dead Robert W.D.E. Ashe. Who was Ashe? He was the collector of Tirunelveli district in that time. So, it took place in the Maniyachi Junction. Maniyachi Junction, it is in Tirunelveli. So, Ashe was shot dead by Vanjinathan because he was influenced. He was very much influenced by the Bharata Mata Society. So, after he killed the collector Ashe, he shot himself and died. Okay. So next let's see about Annie Besant and the Home Rule movement. Already we have seen about Annie Besant. Okay, Lady Annie Besant in the previous lesson itself. Let's see his contribution here in Tamil Nadu. Sorry, her contribution. While the extremists and revolutionaries were suppressed with an iron hand, the British suppressed the extremists. So already we have seen how the people were put in jail, okay, how they were physically tortured, mentally tortured, everything we saw. So with iron hand they were suppressed, the extremists and revolutionaries. Okay, what happened? The moderates, they did not involve in violence, but they had a hope that through petitions, okay, through constitutional reforms, they wanted to bring reforms in the constitution itself. So once a reform is made a law, if it is written in the constitution, then it has to be followed. So the moderates expected, they had a little hope, okay, that they had to get their aims to be achieved through constitutional reforms. Is it understood? So however they were disappointed with the Minto-Marley reforms. What is that Minto-Marley reforms? It was brought in London, not here. So it was brought in the Britain Parliament. It gave only a very minimum power to the Indians. They were expecting that Indians will be given power, but the Minto-Marley system was a great disappointment to the moderates. So thus when the national movement was in its ebb, Annie Besant, an Irish lady, she was not an Indian, she came from Ireland but fought for the Indians. Okay, so and leader of the Theosophical Society, Annie Besant, she was the leader of Theosophical Society, proposed the Home Rule movement. So who started Home Rule movement? Annie Besant, Lady Annie Besant from Ireland started Home Rule movement here in India. So in 1916 she carried forward the demand for Home Rule all over India. G.S. Arundel, B.P. Wadia and C.P. Ramasamy assisted her in this campaign. Who were the ones with her? Okay, who are the ones? G.S. Arundel, B.P. Wadia and C.P. Home Rule with only a nominal allegiance to British crown. She started the newspapers, the New India, okay, and Commonweal to carry forward the agenda. She remarked better bullock carts and freedom than a train dealers with subjection. So she used to say, when we are under subjection, subjection means under subjugation of the British, under the slavery. If we are slave, it is not better to travel in a deluxe coach in a train. Okay, she used to say it is better to travel by a bullock cart, okay, if we have freedom. So freedom is better, okay, even if we are poor, she used to say. So under the Press Act of 1910, Annie Besant was asked to pay hefty amount as security. She wrote 2 books, How India Wrought for Freedom, Struggled for Freedom, and A Nation and a Pamphlet on Self-Government. So important to work of Annie Besant, How India Wrought, Suffered, Struggled for Freedom, and the other one is Self. It was entirely about self-government, self-rule of India. Home rule with only a nominal allegiance to British crown. She started the newspapers, the New India, okay, and Commonweal to carry forward the agenda. She remarked better bullock carts and freedom than a train deluxe with subjection. So she used to say, when we are under subjection, subjection means under subjugation of the British, under the, slavery. If we are slave, it is not better to travel in a deluxe coach in a train. Okay, she used to say it is better to travel by a bullock cart, okay, if we have freedom. So freedom is better, okay, even if we are poor, she used to say. So under the Press Act of 1910, Annie Besant was asked to pay hefty amount as security. She wrote 2 books, How India Wrought for Freedom, Struggled for Freedom, and A Nation and a Pamphlet on Self-Government. So important to work of Annie Besant, How India Wrought, Suffered, Struggled for Freedom, and the other one is Self. It was entirely about self-government, self-rule of India. Okay, dear students, let us see the remaining part of this lesson in the next session. Thanks for watching.